Are you new here? Because if you're not, then you might have heard of Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks basically spouts truth. And that's probably why I feel like I've resonated with a lot of their teachings and a lot of the stuff that they've put out. And Abraham Hicks came up with this really cool emotional guidance scale. Looks like this. And this is something that I came across last year in April, and it's something that I only just now figured out, and so I wanted to share it with you. So the purpose of the emotional guidance scale is to allow you to move higher and higher towards positive emotions. And essentially, the idea is the more that you stay in alignment with a higher vibration, the more easy it is for you to manifest the life that you want, because essentially you're living a life at the vibration that you desire. Like attracts like. There you go. The thing is, when I first came across the emotional guidance scale, I had a lot of repressed emotions. I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of sadness. I had a lot of feelings that I had not allowed myself to feel ever, because emotions weren't something that were safe for me to express as a child. So it was really interesting that after about 6-8 months of doing a lot of emotional processing work, where I let go of a lot of anger, a lot of sadness that I was carrying, and made space for emotions that I had not allowed myself to feel before, suddenly this emotional guidance scale made a lot more sense to me. Essentially, what you do is, assuming that you don't have repressed emotions that you have not felt yet, if you feel like you've actually achieved a state where you've processed a lot of your feelings and now you're living in the moment, I recognized that the feelings that I was feeling were actually really cyclical. I kept coming back to a state of anxiety and a state of fear, a state of fight or flight. And essentially, I realized that the issue was that this was my defense mechanism as a child. I had decided as a child that I was safe if I stayed in a state of anxiety, because that was the state in which I was most alert and I was most able to process any kind of threats or fears that might come my way. So recognizing this as an adult has been really helpful in helping me realize that I don't need this cycle anymore. It's just a cycle that keeps happening and is cyclical and repetitive simply because it's a habit. So the emotional guidance scale from Abraham Hicks has actually been phenomenally helpful for me now, because I'm able to move up it. So I'm going to share an example with you to help you better understand how one can move up the emotional guidance scale. So I had an experience last week that someone treated me really disrespectfully and pretty unjustly out of nowhere. And I felt a lot of anger. I felt a lot of just anger towards this person. Felt like it was just a lot of anger. And I basically had to process it and feel it. And once I was satisfied with my anger, once I'd written it down, once I'd shared it with people, once I'd validated it, then I was like, okay, I'm ready to let this go. And an inner child version of me that used negative emotions to stay stuck in a cycle maybe didn't want to let go of it, and maybe wanted to milk that anger a little bit. But the conscious adult me was ready to let go. So the way I used the emotional guidance scale was essentially to choose better feeling thoughts and better feeling thoughts to move up the scale. So this is a copy of the emotional guidance scale, which I'll put on screen. But basically, the first thought I thought of was, wow, I'm really angry that that person disrespected me and mistreated me. And the way you move up here is now you choose a thought based on another emotion that's higher up. So I don't have to jump straight to joy and passion. I can take a lot of steps in between. So the next one was, wow, fuck that person. Blame that person and be like, wow, that was so rude of them. And I really didn't like that. And they're kind of messed up for doing that. Then there's disappointment, where I'm pretty disappointed that a person I was looking to teach me a new skill treated me in that way. And then I could go to irritation of like, man, it was so annoying that that happened to me. You know, it was pretty just annoying that I was really excited about a lesson, learning something I wanted to, Then we go to pessimism of, man, I feel like people who want to teach things can sometimes get so power hungry and get so negative and take it out on people. And then you'll notice on this diagram that there is a tipping point. So you'll see contentment is a tipping point, and you can go from boredom to contentment. But in this case, I don't really have any thoughts that reach for boredom around this example. But maybe contentment is, I'm really glad that I set my boundary and fired that teacher right away and decided that this teacher was not someone who was going to teach me anything because I don't tolerate that behavior. And I'm really content with the fact that I set a boundary. Then hopefulness of, I'm really hopeful that the next person that I reach out to or the next skill that I learn will not have a teacher that's going to treat me disrespectfully. I'm really hopeful that they're going to be really respectful and really loving. Then optimism. I'm really optimistic that the people that I allow into my life are always going to treat me well, are always going to be loving, are going to be positive, that the people I allow into my life are genuinely always going to be good. Positive expectation. So I expect that anyone who enters my life and I allow to stay in my life is going to treat me respectfully and lovingly. Enthusiasm, eagerness, or happiness. I'm really eager and enthusiastic about finding more teachers in my life to teach me skills that teach me in a really compassionate and loving way. And I'm really excited and eager to be around those people. Then passion. I'm really excited to learn new skills and learn new art. And I'm really passionate about attracting the right types of teachers that will help me do that in my life. And then the last one is joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation. And honestly, for me, I can just end on feeling really great and appreciative of the fact that I had this experience and that I know that I don't tolerate that behavior because I know that the people who are meant to be in my life are only ever going to treat me positively and well. So this was just an example, right? You don't have to use every single node on the emotional guidance scale to move up it, but even just saying it right now, I feel amazing. I feel so good because, one, I don't have any repressed emotions that I'm not allowing myself to feel. But two, I just realized that I didn't need any of my anger anymore. I expressed my anger in a healthy way. I wrote it out. I expressed it to people. I took action on it. And after that, I don't need to dwell on it anymore. I can move up the scale and allow that anger to sort of dissipate and no longer be my primary focus of attraction. So I just wanted to share this example with you because I actually shared this with one of my dear friends, and she told me that this was really helpful for her. And hopefully it was helpful for you too, just to get an example of a very specific way of moving up the emotional guidance scale and how to use this. Yeah. Hope it helps you, and sending you lots of love. Bye.